Oh my goodness, dear friends, buckle up, because today I'm bringing you a story that will rip your heart right out and then stitch it back together with pure gold. She called me Little Chubby after 40 years in that tiny Buenos Aires café. And what he revealed next made me scream in the middle of the street. Imagine this, November 2025, a drizzly Tuesday morning in the San Telmo neighborhood of Buenos Aires, Argentina. The old cafe is called the Little Flower Kiosk, walls covered in faded tango posters, the smell of fresh medialunas, those buttery Argentine croissants floating in the air, and Astor Piazzolla's bandoneon weeping softly from the speakers. Our heroine, Maria Rosa, 61 years young, silver hair in a neat bun, walks in at exactly 9:30 every single morning. Her husband passed 4 years ago from a sudden heart attack. 2 sons in Barcelona, daughter in Cordoba. The apartment feels like a museum of memories, so every day she comes here for one café con leche, coffee with milk, and a quiet corner to breathe. That morning, the line was long. Maria Rosa stood behind a tall gentleman with thick white hair, a slight stoop, and a wooden cane. He stepped up to the counter and said in that deep, familiar baritone, "One café con leche, please. Extra sweet, just the way my little Chubby used to love it." Little Chubby. 40 years vanished in a heartbeat. Only one man in the entire world ever called her that, back in 1981, when she was a plump university girl with rosy cheeks. Jose Luis, her first love, the man who shattered her world. Her umbrella clattered to the tile floor, the gentleman turned slowly, deep-set eyes, the tiny scar above the left eyebrow. It was him. Time froze. "Maria Rosa?" His voice cracked like an old tango record. "Jose?" Hers was barely a whisper. The barista, Roberto, saw the scene and hurried over. "Friends, come, sit. I'll bring your coffees. On the house today." They sat. For 5 full minutes neither spoke, just stared, tears already pooling. Then Jose reached across the little marble table and took both her hands as if they were made of glass. "Forgive me. Please forgive me for everything." And then the dam broke. Flashback to 1981, University of Buenos Aires Literature Department. Jose Luis, final year, dark hair, intense eyes, always carrying poetry books. Maria Rosa, first year, soft curves, always laughing. They met at a protest, got tear-gassed together, and fell madly in love under the jacaranda trees. He wrote her poems every single day. She kept everyone under her pillow. By 1984, they were planning the wedding. Then the army took him, mandatory service right after the war. The night before he left, he held her face and promised, "Wait for me, little Chubby, 2 years. When I come back, we'll get married." She wrote every week. He answered at first. Then one letter arrived that destroyed her. "Maria Rosa, there was an accident in training. I lost my left leg. I don't want you to see me like this. Forget me. Be happy. I set you free." Radio silence. She waited 6 whole years, crying herself to sleep, refusing every suitor, until her parents finally begged her to move on. She married a kind accountant, had 3 beautiful children, buried the poems in a tin box under the floorboards. But it was all a lie. Jose dropped his head into his trembling hands. "I never lost my leg. Both legs are right here. I met someone, a nurse at the base. She got pregnant. I panicked. I was a coward. I thought, if I made you hate me, you'd find someone better." Maria Rosa's chair scraped backward so hard it almost tipped. "You lied to me? 6 years I mourned a cripple who never existed? I thought you were dying, Jose Luis. I hated you and loved you every single day for 40 years. Her voice rose until the whole cafe went dead silent. She slammed the table with both palms. "How could you be so cruel?" Tears of pure rage poured down her cheeks. She grabbed her bag, stormed out, and slammed the old wooden door so hard the tango record skipped. Jose sat there all night, didn't move. Roberto finally locked up around him. Next morning, Maria Rosa came back, not for forgiveness, but for answers. She found him exactly where she left him, eyes swollen, unshaven. He opened an old leather satchel with shaking fingers and laid out photographs like evidence in court. First photo, her wedding day, 1988, outside the San Telmo Cathedral, taken from across the street. She was in white, smiling at her new husband, on the back in faded ink. I just wanted to see you happy. Second photo, her husband's funeral, 2021. His name was in the guest book. Third, her eldest son's university graduation, 2005. A man in a black cap, far in the back row, and then the photograph that made her scream right there in the cafe. A beautiful woman, 41 years old, with Maria Rosa's exact eyes and smile. Jose's voice broke completely. This is our daughter, Rosa Maria, the month I sent that horrible letter. You were already 3 months pregnant. You didn't know yet. Your parents found out after I disappeared. They were terrified of the scandal. They arranged a private adoption. I only found out years later, and I raised her myself. She thinks her mother gave her up because she loved her too much to keep her in a broken home. Maria Rosa stared at the photo. Her knees buckled. Roberto caught her before she hit the floor. My baby? You raised my baby? Hot, angry tears turned into something else. Tears of shock, grief, impossible joy. Jose slid out of his chair and knelt on the old tile floor. I don't deserve forgiveness, but Rosa Maria deserves to know her mother is alive. She never once blamed you. She always says, Mommy loved me so much she gave me a better life. Maria Rosa looked at the man who broke her, watched over her, and raised their secret child alone for 4 decades. She cupped his wet face with both hands. Get up, you foolish, foolish man. We have a daughter to meet, and 40 lost years to start making up for. From that day on, every morning at 9:30 sharp, the corner table at the Little Flower kiosk belongs to a white-haired gentleman, a silver-haired lady, and, on weekends, their radiant 41-year-old daughter squeezing between them, stealing bites of medialunas and laughing until she cries. Sometimes love takes the long way home. Sometimes the cruelest lie hides the most tender truth. And sometimes, at 61, you finally get to hold the baby you never knew you had. If this story made you reach for the tissues, please type your own reunion story below. I read every single one and cry with you.